I'll start like in a minute. I don't know if Fadl is still here, but um, I mean, sorry, there's no like music or anything. But I do want to wait till there are like a little more people here to start. Um, this is going to be I mean, I have pulled out like as many sources as I could. Uh, I do want to go through first some Twitter stuff that I've been seeing. Then we're going to read a couple of articles. Some of them are in Spanish because I've seen that the only article that I've been able to find in English, it's been from the BBC, and I feel like any kind of articles tend to be either more objective or watered down when it comes to like reporting international stuff. Okay, might as well just be here. Hi, Farrell, welcome. Uh, but but yeah, still, I wanted to like a source from that. I do will read one article that it's comparing the the current fascist uh, Colombian regime, Colombian presidency, with what one of the candidates here wants to do. People don't understand that. People ironically believe like horseshoe theory. And sorry, I don't know why my boy, like my, isn't it? Okay. Um, okay, now I feel like more. Sorry, I'm like in my pajamas, but I did want to like just start this because I'm not seeing anyone covering this, and I think it's important. Uh, and it's scary, particularly for me, because Colombia is right next to Peru. Like they're north of Peru, but still, like it literally next to us. um, Stay cozy in heavy streams. True, no one will cover this. Yeah, that's what it's kind of scary. I also do want to acknowledge that there is nothing that anyone can do but spread the word, be learn from this, and like spread the news. I don't know what can people actually do because this is a political issue. Also, don't fucking. I know the CIA is watching this. Don't fucking start a fucking war. Also, it's pointless because it's Colombia is the size of a state. Okay, no bombs, please. Thank you. Um. So yeah. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, it's scary because I've known that the current president, the current president, I like I was told that the current president was kind of a fasci, and I was like, ooh. And now we're saying this, and I'm like, of course, the U.S. news are not covering this. And by the way, this is not something that I just broke. Um, Protests have been going on apparently the last week. This is like at least the fifth or sixth day of protests, or well, uh, either one or either 24 or 48 hours ago. I think the government decided to do martial law or something like that, because from the videos that I've seen, it's heavy shit. So yeah, I'm covering the news today. Well, only this, but I do want to read uh about the president of Colombia right now. I do want to look for like straight up his holy shit. Yeah, yeah, I exactly follow. And I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't really know. I don't really have anything that is leading me to this, but I'm pretty sure the US put this guy. Like, I'm pretty fucking sure. Which is like weird. Hi, Brett, please welcome. Um, this might be my bias as a leftist. I don't really have like any sources or anything. It's just like a feeling after they tried to coup Bolivia and its history with Chile and Argentina. Uh, it's like,
Sorry, that was a
hi,
real
hi,
soapbox.
Boof,
Why did I say
welcome.
sorry?
How are you doing? Thank you for 4 months.
Wolf
I hope you're doing
HTDC
great.
just subscribed.
But yeah, okay, I will show you what I'm seeing right now because I have the Wikipedia article of the guy of the current president, but it's in Spanish because I don't fucking trust right now the English version. Like literally, it literally just says political background, election, immigration protest, and criminal investigation. And in the Spanish version, you have all of this. So yeah, but might as well let's go to political background. Uh, the current president is called Ivan Duque Marquez. Duque returned to Colombia, becoming a candidate in the Senate legislative elections in 2014. Partido pre-K substitute. Oh my god. Hi, Big Almond. I wish I could be the pre-K substitute. I mean, I officially am. I don't know why Anna keeps always trying to rob my title. Um, but I won't be the copium dealer today because some fucked up shit is going on in Colombia and I want to do a deep dive. But yeah. So he returned to Colombia. Where did he go? Oh, he was in the UN. Yeah, this fucking Duque also served international admissions president. Between 2010 and 2010, he was a consultant in the UN in the panel of inquiry appointed by the Secretary General for the incident of Gaza that um oh shit that occurred in 2010 between Israel and Turkey, known as Marmara. Subsequently, his other pressure inter-American. Oh yeah, this guy is definitely on the U.S. side. Like he's if he hasn't been like directly hi Alan Slow, welcome. If he hasn't been like directly placed by the US, it's been indirectly placed by them because he's worked with the UN. He's like where he holds an LLM International Economic Law from American University and a master's in public policy minor at Georgetown University in Washington D.C. Also attended executive education course at Harvard University. Like okay, this this it's super fucking sus. Partido Centro Democrático Democratic Center Party, like, give me a fucking break. He's like fascist as fuck. Like, don't forget that in 1903 the US aided sanctions in Panama for the Republic of Colombia. Yep. Oh yeah, Farrell. Yeah. Ooh, I had forgotten about that. But yeah, I forgot that the US already has like some previous history with Colombia. Which split away from the ruling governing party after Santos opened peace negotiations with the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, the People's Army. Nice. This new party campaigned against the new peace agreement under Santos and led by the right-wing former President Uribe. Bitch, if this didn't even happen with a right-wing president, and this is happening with a centrist, like I don't know why people get mad at me when I say that liberalism is literally fascism. Like, wherever created his own political party and represented himself on the list of handpicked political allies and candidates with a congressional closed list, which meant that people could not vote for an individual congressman but had to vote for a party as the whole in both of the upper and lower chamber elections. Duque was included in the number 7 spot, closed. Oh, even better. Like he calls himself a centrist, even though he's like a full-blown fascist because he worked with the. Okay, during his time. By the way, right now he's doing. Oh, fuck him. I mean, I know it's just like politics or whatever, but oh fuck him. Yeah, Panama Canal Zone was carved out and placed under United States sovereignty. The U.S. didn't not transfer the zone back to Panama until 2000. Yep, it's a fact that liberals and centrists supported fascism in Italy and Germany. I know, Separatski, and people just don't want to believe that, and it's like again, people get mad. Liberals are centrists. No, that's just facts, Boof. Like it's not an opinion. It's just facts. And centrists are fascists. Liberals are fascists. And if you don't want to accept that, you just don't have any like true grasp on how the political spectrum works. You know. Uh, he's a lawyer and Colombian politician, writer. Uh, okay, so the thing that I'm seeing is that apparently there was like a peace agreement between the extreme left party of Colombia and the centrist ones, and either this one or the previous president undid that for some reason. I mean, of course they fucking undid that, but Candidatura presidencial, Duque es abogado con estudios mayores en filosofía. Nero anunció coalición del centro derecha, donde participó en la consulta interpretativa denominada la Gran Consulta. No sé, mañana se votan. Sorry, I'm like reading this in Spanish and like just going to translate. He said that he won't let Colombia turn into Venezuela, and I'm like, wow, this is full blown like right wing propaganda rhetoric, like because I've seen like you here have like your centrist news organizations, but like the left leaning ones are fully aware of what is actually going on in Venezuela. Like they know that the whole economic crash and the petroleum and the lack of diversification of their economy was what mainly caused that. And holy shit. Oh, he's with Otherbridge. Okay, if you are not aware of what Otherbridge is this organization, organization of like construction of Brazil, and they did a fucking lot of corrupt shit, and they were connected with a lot of international politics, like international South American politics and politicians. And for example, the president who was elected here in Peru was found guilty to be in part of that, and then he was impeached, and then I know that happened. I don't know if presidents or politicians around in other places of South America were also impeached, but I do know that there were many politicians that were found guilty of this case around Latin America because it was a big fucking deal because the Brazilian government was basically not like giving. So I don't remember if it was I think it was about petroleum and infrastructure, and there are like this handful of companies that work in this, and every so often the Brazilian government was supposed to like rotate between those companies to make the work of like renewing infrastructure and all that stuff. And Aldebridge happens to be one of them, but like because the free market, all the companies were working together basically, and they just wanted to make the most money out of it. And Aldebridge was there for like a longer time. I don't remember if it was for a longer time, but it was something about like washing money, uh, and the government being. I mean, the government was literally giving them money, and they knew they weren't using it. But also, there's a current fascist government there, so yeah, we love. So yeah, it's all fucked up. And given that he has links to this other bridge organization, it's like, oh, okay, you're like, got it. Sia finalmente fue archivado en prófugo en Oh shit. Okay, so last year this girl was kidnapped. This woman was kidnapped and she literally accused him, like, and they were, um how do I translate this word? Collude, conspire against her. O sea, I mean, they were conspiring against. Oh my god, this fucking shit. Okay, so this is the background of the current president of Colombia. So this is what more or less is going on. I found this on Twitter. I wanted to go through it, but also I wanted to um give a little more perspective, because I'm already saying that I don't know what was the past, or how exactly the Colombian economy works, but I do know that $260 is still a lot, and given that they have like this similar to Jen's economy, um, people think, oh my god, they're only earning like, oh my god, the minimum salary is $260. Yeah, but the Colombian peso, it's like USD. Yeah, but the Colombian peso, it's literally 3,000. Like $1 is 3,800 pesos, and 260 would be literally $1 million pesos. A million Colombian pesos. And yeah, that's just how the currency works in Colombia. Like, okay, to be fair, it's been going up, but still, it goes between 3,600 and 3,800, like, and 3,700, and of course. Okay, this is literally US's fault, but we're not going to talk about that. Um, but yeah, so the reform will also impose new income taxes on people who earn more than 700 a month, which again, it's still a lot in Colombia, but I don't think it should be like that. The minimum salary in Colombia is only 260 a month. Again, we discussed it. That's not that less money here. Um, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Lately is a symptom. Like, this is so weird. Um, like the dollarization. It's weird that they wanted to translate this to US dollars. Like, I get it for people to like have a better understanding, but the lack of uh how the Colombian peso works is making this tax reform more dramatic than it might seem. Again, I don't know how dramatic this is, and I feel like it, like, people are saying that people are um rising up to, hi Paul's welcome, that people are rising up because of the tax reform, but I feel like has it is much more than this. Like, for example, in Chile, insurrection happened when the president, I don't know if it was a president, but when the transport, um where transportation prices went up, and that was just like the last droplet that overflew the overflown or overflow the glass, because like there were many other fucked up things that were happening before in Chile, and the fact that now people find it difficult to transport themselves and move themselves from place to place was like enough for them. And insurrections happened in Chile, and now they're changing their constitution because politicians are fucking ridiculous, you know? They ignore the fact that there are a black market for currency. Oh yeah, definitely fatal. And again, like, I get why they're showing just the dollars, but I find it weird that they are not showing how that much translates into Colombian pesos. This reform will make the working and middle class pay 19% tax on services like water, gas, electricity, internet, and sewerage. To be fair, here in Peru, we pay that 19%. We already pay 19% in taxes. Again, I don't know if Colombia was previously paying more or paying less. Like, that's the thing that I find weird about this specific chart. Like, there is no like context, and because they are not giving context, I feel like, okay, I they are just promoting some. I'm scared that they are promoting some agenda instead of actually um make people understand. And I get that this was made for Instagram, and people on Instagram, they just are fucking lives, and they just want to, oh my god, I know about what's happening, but it's like, uh there's so much information that it's not there, you know. But yeah. And also, I hate that they wrote an essentials like meat, fish, milk, eggs, and cheese. Like, as a vegan, meat, fish, milk, eggs, and cheese are not fucking essentials. Just fucking saying. They are not. Like, I get it, but also, like, really, really, like, of course, all the famous anti-vegan stuff, like, weird. Gasoline, I do feel it's essential, but okay, yeah. Medications, tampons, books, and rice. Why is rice at the end? What the fuck? Rice is way more essential than all this stuff. I should have translated to purchasing power, not only price exchange. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Farol. That's why I saw this graph or this information, and I was like, okay, like there are too many red flags going on in my head that I want to break this down on like on stream, because I don't want this like to be the main source of anyone and just be blindly saying, "Oh no, what's going on in Colombia is when it's like, okay, you have to have a little more understanding of what's going on, of how this information specifically works, because again, nothing exists in a vacuum, and like there we live in a society." But yeah, after 2 days of strike, the president announced that the tax reform bill would be rewritten. This fails to address necessary reforms across other social sectors that affect the working class: health reform, retirement reform, labor reform. I live in Peru. By the way, hi Steel Langs, welcome in. Hi Dorian Sapiens. I live in Peru. Our retirement stuff, it's so fucked up. I've explained this when I went through when I talked about my grandma, but holy shit, like we've been through so many retirement reforms and it's fucking stressful. I do have retirement money. How much do I have in my retirement fund? I literally have $100 because I literally work for 2 months. Um, like in a corporate or official setting. But yeah, health reform. What is weird about Colombia is that they have an incredible healthcare. They have incredible healthcare quality, but I do also know that they have a mainly privatized system. So yeah, labor reform. I know that uh job job uh how do I say unemployment was rising like since before the pandemic in Colombia. So yeah, there is humanitarian crisis of the state powers over human beings. Yeah, that is what is going on currently. People are being killed by police, and 1,000 cases of police brutality, 27 homicides from the police. I don't know what would be the difference, honestly. Six sexual assault victims, 726 arbitrary arrests from the police, 846 injured people, and 12 people have lost their eyes due to police violence. Okay, the fact that this is 12 and not just one, it's so fucked up. But yeah, there, I don't know because in Peru they also have a thing for hitting the eyes, and I'm like, okay. Quick guide on Colombian protests 2021, what's going on and what is happening and what you can do. Colombian protests on April 28th, 2021, thousands of protesters came out on the streets around the country. Hi, Zabrowski. Ooh, what's this? Oh, country's universal healthcare. I mean, yeah, like we do have like free universal healthcare, but that doesn't mean that it's a good system. Like again, Peru has like a private healthcare sector and a public healthcare sector, and the public one is shit because the way they compensate doctors is very fucked up, and and the infrastructures are terrible, old. Uh, how they pay doctors, it's like they have like this certain like they receive money based on the number of um patients they see a month, and that's at least what happens in Peru. And I know that universal healthcare it's of course varies different, but I do know that so yeah. And like what it here like each doctor is paid based on how many clients patients they see, so they tend to just go through them quickly and not actually help people in what they need. This fundamentally protest against the proposed tax hacks. The proposed tax was what the proposed tax reform is what made the protests break. But there were already many other things. Yeah, quantity over quality. Yeah, exactly. And that's so fucked up because it incentivizes doctors to not care about the patients. And what is fucked up is the mainly users of this system is are the elderly, and they are the ones receiving the healthcare with the least quality, and it's literally just inhumane. So yeah. Uh, so it was tipping point, but not the first and only issue. Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that is something that everyone has to keep in mind. Like this thing again, things don't happen in the vacuum. Like just as I'm going to give the Chile example again. What made the protests break in Chile 2 or 3 years ago was the increase of the prices in public transportation, but that wasn't like thus. That was just the drop that overflew the glass. I don't know how to translate this saying, but like there were already many other things. Yeah, the straws that broke the camel's back. Yes, thank you, Lisa Simpson. And like there were already many other things that were infuriating the Chilean populace. So when they raised the price in public transportation, that literally made life impossible for Chileans, and they just like went full blown protests. People stopped going to work, and now we're they're getting a full reform of the constitution, like a new constitution. And if you know what they are doing, I think it's incredible. They are like making a big amount of the population write the constitution. It will be like half men, half women. There will be representation from minorities. Like there's a whole percentage. It's very cool what they're doing. Look it up. It's similar in a smaller level of how Cuba did their constitution. But yeah. Protest continues through April 29th, with several union leaders calling for them to continue even further. Yeah. How does this affect the population? In the midst of the pandemic, the increase in prices comes as a hard hit for the country's middle and lower classes, who have seen their economic power decrease severely during the past year. 3.5 million new people dropped below the poverty line in 2020 alone, for a total of 21 million, or 42.7% of the country's population. I want to tell you, this is how the tax reform worked in Colombia. Tax reforms can be done in many different ways. You can still add the percentage of, you can like add taxes to like products, but you can still give like subsidies to companies for them not to raise prices. So like just a heads up of, for people who for some reason are like taxes or theft. There are different things you can do. Just saying. I mean, it would be counterproductive because they're spending that same money, but honestly, it's whatever. So stay informed, spread awareness, start a conversation. Again, I said this in the beginning. That's the only thing you can do. Like, inform yourself about what's going on internationally. Don't pretend that the US can. I know no one is a leap here, but just in case, don't pretend the US can like intervene. The US literally put this president in power. Uh, so yeah. Um. Okay. Let's.
I'm more.
Actually, I want to know who is she. Oh, I don't know. Colombia is the greatest. Okay. Yeah, but now we get Biden. He's a good guy. Oh my god, I know that's why.
I am deeply concerned with the situation in Colombia. I mourn with the families of those killed and injured. Demonstrations erupted last week in protest against a plan by the government of Colombia to raise taxes by as much as 19%. We have seen disturbing images in
Again, I live in Peru. We pay 18%. Either what? When I was in school, it was 17. Now we're paying 18, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, like it's not a lot. It's not a lot, but still. And again, why are people not mentioning the previous percentage? I'm like, okay, but what were they paying before? What's
video
the change? They are not raising like 19% of their before tax. That would just literally be a like it would be just terrible for the economy. But
shared on social media of police opening fire on peaceful demonstrators protesting in Cali, Colombia, as well as other cities, including my hometown of Bucaramanga. Authorities of any country have a
who's this
responsibility
woman?
to uphold human rights, and I call on
Senator
President
of
Duque to
Miami.
clearly communicate that excessive use of force is unacceptable. I also warned the Duque administration that the Leahy law bars the U.S. from supporting security forces involved in severe human rights violations. I have personally reached out to the Biden administration to bring attention to this humanitarian crisis because we can't allow this incredible violation of human rights to continue. Lastly, I have spoken to friends and relatives who have shared with me that there is no food at the stores and all roads are blocked and filled with chaos from the Colombian authorities as well as agitators. Colombia is our nation's greatest ally in the region and is surrounded by undemocratic.
Okay, the president was definitely placed by the US. And this lady is like the only one like not in with the joke. And oh my god.
Regimes who will jump at any opportunity
By the next Venezuela. Uh okay.
to turn Colombia into the next Venezuela. I ask all of us to join together, regardless of party affiliation, in our call for SOS Colombia.
Again, it's so fucked up how libs think about horseshoe theory that she means the US will sanction Colombia into the crater. The thing is that the US won't intervene. As much as people want to, the US was the one who put the government in place, like in the first place, there, you know? Uh, but yeah. Okay, I wanted. I just want to let you know Shakira is from Colombia. I love Shakira, and even though all these other people are super fucking irrelevant for me, they are super relevant in uh oh, also Juanes. Um I know they're mostly irrelevant for you all. I mean, J Balvin, I don't know, you may know him. Carol G, my girl. Um, they've been making statements in social media, and I know they're just famous people, and we shouldn't care, etc., etc. But it's still like, let me be a normie once in a while, okay? Yeah, Shakira is forever relevant. That. I'm not saying that. I'm saying about the other people that are irrelevant. But yeah, off the kick. But I was in Punta Mero in 2019 studying whale sharks, and I had a great time. But I met a lot of Venezuelan immigrants. Such. Okay. What she meant with the next Venezuela is that it's kind of ironic because like the current presidency um of Colombia is literally a fascist leader, and in Venezuela you had the opposite, but because she needs to spread like um anti-socialist rhetoric and stuff, like, but yeah. And like people say that the reason Venezuela fell was because of socialism. And when I ask them, okay, why? They literally have no idea. And I'm like, okay, but what are the measurements that he took to make Venezuela fall? And they are always silent. And then I explain them the reason Venezuela fell was because they were very fucking reliant on petrol. Like, they didn't diversify their economy, something that Peru has luckily, historically, always done. Um, and Peru has always been that example of Latin America, of like getting out of economical crisis because of our diversification of our economy. To be fair, we have a lot of resources, and that's something that we have always historically done. Like for example, in the crisis of the 30s, uh, or during World War II, we diversified our economy. Um, we changed all the resources. We made all the resources our priority. Exporting all the resources our priority, and that made us stay always afloat in economy wise. You know, but yeah. So Venezuela only centered their economy on petrol, and when the petrol prices dropped, all the fucking economy fell apart. I do will say that the president wanted to diversify the economy. I don't know what took him so long, why he didn't do it. I know he had desires of doing it, but again, I don't know why he didn't do it, etc. And the economy fell, and now people were, I don't know, and they immigrated. A lot of people from Venezuela immigrated to other parts of Latin America. With what money? If they are so poor, I don't know, because people. But yeah. So yeah. What's up with your filthy? With you, filthy donkey? Oh my god! Shut up, Grum. Welcome. Yeah, resource curse. Yep. And so I wanted to. Oh, okay. I wanted to read Shakira's statement, but let's read Juanes' statement because I love Juanes. And fuck you all if you don't know who Juanes is. But Colombia, un llamado a la calma, por favor. Colombia, a call for calmness, for calm, al deponer la violencia y cuidar la vida, nos queda siempre la palabra de transformarnos sin destruirnos. Lip stuff. Uh, I'm I'm hurting. My country hurts like anyone before. Feeling that things are getting out of control, and fear, rage, and indignation paralyze the capability of reasoning is scary. We've we haven't been able to learn to listen to one another and respect each other and look at each other in the eyes and recognize each other as brothers or siblings. What is going on in Colombia? It's it's something that is coming from years ago. Yeah, years behind. The social inequality, the lack of opportunities, and many other variables that have been leading up to this. Yeah, I mean, this is also very lip talking point. Like he's not saying anything like specific, but I mean, he's not wrong because he's been general enough that why would he be wrong? But yeah, I only wait for that in this moment that all the lives lost of young students, police. Ew. Why are you defending the police? Uh, I'm just waiting for a moment that in this moment and all the lives lost of the young students, police officers, military soldiers, and civils weren't in vain, and that the difficult politic parties and I don't know how to translate gremios, etc. feel the oh sit down in the table and dialogue with each other in common sense and honesty. Uh, and I beg, especially to the president and the Colombia's government, to protect the lives of the protesters, stopping violence, and guaranteeing human rights. There has to be other ways, and I'm like, I agree, but also this is just lip shit, and whatever. Okay, now my girl Shakira. Just kidding. Uh, Google says gremios are guilds of trade unions. Yeah, thank you, Darren Sapiens. Yeah, because like, yeah, it is unacceptable for a mother to lose her only child to brutality, and that 18 other people have their lives taken from them in a peaceful protest. Bullets will never be able to silence the violence of the one who suffers, of the voice of the people who suffer. And it is essential that we are not deaf to the cry of our own. I ask the government of my country to take urgent measures, stop now the violation of human rights, and restore the value of human life above any political interest. I find interesting how everyone is using the word human rights, uh, because I do feel like it's being used strategically. Like yes, it's true. There are human rights violations that it's going on, but I feel like asking like invoking human rights violations means that they want military intervention. Like I don't know what else like they want, because like human rights violations is like um it's not like people talk. That's like officials official language, like like, and when you talk to people you don't say like human rights violations, you say like people are fucking dying, you know? So the fact that I'm seeing so much of human rights violations or human rights, it feels to me that they are calling for the UN to intervene. aka US intervention, aka military intervention. And again, the UN or the US won't intervene because they literally place him there. They literally placed a fascist leader there. Like, it's so scary to think that people are asking for intervention in a country so close to me, and like I'm literally shaking right now. And it's like, fuck fascism, but also fuck the US. You know, like, and seeing people ask for UN intervention feels to me like, oh my god, like there's such a lack of understanding of how the UN works, how like they don't even know how the current fascist president what literally worked for the UN. Like they truly think, I mean, given I literally thought the UN was a good organization a couple of years ago. And ignorance is scary, you know? So yeah. Okay. Let's read this BBC article. Um this is the only this is the only English article I've managed to find. Um I do have a couple of videos. Most of them do be in Spanish. Uh Hopefully there is, do I have translation? How to translate to English? But if there are, I will be like translating and highlighting the key moments. And I also at the end I want to go over the current Peruvian elections because one of the one of the running one of the uh how do I say, one of the politicians that is running. Hi, Alisher. Welcome. Thank you for thank you for trying to cheer with 10 BDs. Uh, I appreciate it regardless. One of the politicians that is running for president is a fascist. Okay, thank you for 10 BDs. Is a fascist, and the other one, even though he's alleged Marxist, Leninist, Mariategist candidate. Thank you, Silly Lungs. I was like, English? Hello, English? Um, Even though the other one is like a Marxist Leninist, he still has like questionable um intentions and a questionable background, and I'm still very fucking undecided. But yeah, I am you when I speak Spanish. Oh my god. What's the third name you say after Marxist Leninist? Mariategist. Mariategi is Mariategui. Jose Carlos Mariategui is a socialist writer of the early 20th century. He wrote a lot of socialist theory. We went over some of his uh ideology ideologies in a previous stream. Think um I don't think I have a command for him, but if you want to learn about him, we did went through uh Marxism through a video of this interview with this guy from, I think, the New York University, uh, and they were talking about the Marxism of the South, about Jose Carlos Mariotti, and how he's um how do I say it, like his theory, his writings spoke a lot about intersectionality, how to properly bring the revolution to South America and Latin America in general, and it's very interesting. I feel like it aligns a lot with current views of socialism and communism, and I think it's literally Marx who Mariatti had such an in-depth, detailed, insightful, beautiful perspective that more people should know about and learn about. So yeah, but yeah, so she's the fascist um, candidate, and yeah, okay. Colombia protests. UN deeply alarmed by bloodshed in Cali. Cali is the a city in Colombia, by the way. The United Nations Human Rights Office has accused Colombia's security forces of using excessive force against protesters. The UN said it was particularly shocked by the events of Cali on Monday. Let me wait. Okay, you didn't see anything. Uh, it said that fatalities had been reported, but it had not yet been able to verify how many. On Monday, Colombia's ombudsman said that at least 19 people had died during the week of unrest over proposed tax reforms, deadly clashes. The ombudsman's office had at first put the number of those killed since the protest started at 17, but later revised the number upwards to 19. So what is going on in Colombia? A fascist government. Don't worry, Wing. We're still like getting through it, going through it. I just talked about a little about the context of how Colombian South America, how the South American economy works, how this has been an ongoing issue, and the tax reforms that the president wanted to impose was just the bag that broke the camel's back. What was the thing? I already forgot. Uh, but yeah. So yeah, we're going through what's going on in Colombia. But that was before the fresh clashes, which happened overnight in Cali, Colombia's third largest city. Colombia's taken the street opposed to tax reform. Again, the tax reform is just like the last droplet. You forgot. Oh my God! Shut up. Uh, it's like I forgot the saying. was a droplet that overflew the glass. Like the tax reform, yeah. I won't give the Chile example again. Marta Hurtado, a spokeswoman for UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, said the UN had received reports of human rights defenders being harassed and threatened, as well as protesters being injured and even killed in the city. Hundreds of arrests have been made over the past days. We can say clearly that this clearly is that we have received reports and we have witnesses of excessive use of force by security officers, shootings, live ammunition being used, beatings of demonstrators, and as well detentions. She told reporters in Geneva. People also took to the streets on Monday in the capital, Bogota, in Colombia, second largest city, and Medellin in the northern city of Bucaramanga. Oh, in Bucaramanga too. Lol. What kicked off the protest when the protest started on April 28th? They were mainly in opposition to a now shelved tax reform. Colombians, okay, the government argued that the reform was a key to mitigating Colombia's economic crisis. Its gross domestic product dropped by 6.8% last year, the deepest crash in half a century. And the coronavirus pandemic has further driven up its unemployment rate, which, of course, this would happen under a fucking fascist regime because capitalists, ironically so, don't know how the fucking economy works. And I will come back because someone is ringing my bell. Okay, I don't know. I may die. Who knows? Marches were originally convened. Where's streamer? I'm here. Hi, Rats. Welcome. We're going over what's going on in Colombia. The proposed reform would have lowered the threshold at which. Oh my god. Hi, Fruitium. Welcome. Hi, Waxing. At which salaries are taxed. The proposed reform would have lowered the threshold at which salaries are taxed, affecting anyone with a monthly income of 2.6 million pesos or $684 or more. It would also have eliminated many of the current exemptions enjoyed by individuals, as well as increasing taxes imposed on businesses. It goes outrage, outrage, outrage among Colombians already battered by the pandemic, and the protests were joined by many middle class people who feared that the changes could see them slip into poverty, which it fucking did. Why are people still on the streets? Even though the president Ivan Duque announced on Sunday that he would withdraw the tax reform, protests have continued in Colombia's major cities. The umbrella group, which called for last week's protest has convened a fresh nationwide strike for Wednesday, saying that the withdrawal of the tax reform was not enough and that it also wants improvements in Colombia's pension, healthcare, and education systems. Again, South America or Latin America in general has a weird. I mean, I think pension plans in general are super weird, and of course, the fucking government doesn't want to help people with their pension plans. Healthcare, even though the quality is great in Colombia, how it's managed, how public healthcare is managed in Colombia, and in most parts of South America, it's kind of fucked up. And the education system, of course, we need a whole education reform in Latin America in general. So, but many of those who have taken on the streets since the president announced is his U-turn on tax reform said they were angry at the use of force by security forces. More than 800 people are reported to have been injured in clashes between the police and demonstrators. Police stations were set alight in a number of cities. Hell yeah! Um, Police officials say that in many cases it was their officers who were attacked lies and they tried to prevent criminal elements, sure, from looting stores and torching buses. Oh no, what will we do if they have to replace buses? We're talking about empty buses, by the way. They say hundreds of officers have been wounded or at least one killed. Yeah, while literally at least 18 people have been killed at the hands of the police. Like, come the fuck on. Give me a fucking break, BBC. Like, Colombia's defense minister said illegal armed groups had infiltrated the protest and were to blame for all the demonstrations. Of course, you're fucking blaming. Oh my god, fuck you. What's the background? It is not the first time that anti-government protests have turned deadly in Colombia. In 2019, there were outrage when teenage protest Dylan Cruz died after being hit in the head by a police projectile. And in September last year, at least 7 people were killed in protests triggered by deadly tasering of a man by the police in the capital, Bogota. Um. Okay, let's watch this fucking video. Might as well. This is a moment. Oh, this is the. Yeah.
Lo subimos, lo trajimos al hospital, llegó, entró y el médico salió al momentico y me dijo, él acaba de fallecer.
I'm not sure if I can show this, but also.
Se está lastimando con su gas, con sus tasers. Somos humanos como ellos tienen familia, nosotros también. Respétenos la vida, somos Colombia.
Yeah, nationalism is a problem in Latin America. Yeah, this is from 2019 because the man was tased literally to death. So people were outraged. And has police reform been a thing in Colombia? No. Violation of social distance is in place with capital. Colombia's president has promised a rigorous investigation. This is so fucked up, but yeah. Okay, let's watch these couple of videos. I know that Al Jazeera is kind of controversial sometimes, but still. Oh, by the way, hi, Fluffy Funnies, welcome. Why are police like occupying armies everywhere? Because people are fucking tired of fascist regimes. And the fascist regimes need the police to defend them. So yeah. If the working class is rising up, the bourgeoisie will do whatever it takes to suppress them. I wonder if the police violence will work against the current protesters. I mean, it's just pure fear and iron fist ruling that they're going for. Doesn't seem to be any interest of listening to the people. Oh yeah, like they don't fucking care. Again, we have a current fascist regime in Colombia, and I'm not on Colombia, by the way. I'm in Peru, but people don't have an understanding of how politics works. People don't have an understanding of how fascism works, and there's no education in that, and that leads people to call for peace and listening to each other instead of ending the fucking government that was indirectly placed by the US, by the way. And yeah, how far will they go if they're already comfy going as far as they have by they, I mean, the police and the government. Oh yeah, they don't care. They don't care about how many people are killed. Like, as long as they they still have power, um, and they are able to extract value from the people. People are just assets for them, and we love capitalism. So yeah.
Despite rising COVID-19 infections and the risk of violence, tens of thousands of Colombians took to the streets for a fourth straight day on Saturday. In Bogotá, one group gathered at the National Park to continue protesting against a controversial tax reform that they say would raise taxes on the middle class at a time of great economic pain. Among them, 28-year-old Mónica Paredes, who lost her job during the pandemic.
I still haven't been able to pay my 9-year-old son's school tuition because last year has been horrible for me. We're tired of not having a decent health system, of not having institutions that work in our favor.
Rising poverty and unemployment following COVID-19 restrictions have people increasingly venting their anger in the streets, openly defying official pleas to stay home.
It's easy to stay home when you're not hungry, but poor head of household women don't have that luxury and have to sell informally on the streets to survive. That's why we're marching to tell this government we are hungry and we need help.
Isolated looting, vandalism and clashes marked the previous days, especially in Colombia's third largest city, Cali, where at least 3 people have died, allegedly shot by the police. But human rights organizations say the real death toll could be much higher. On Saturday, most of the day was peaceful until the police stopped a group of demonstrators.
The protesters are now trying to reach the private home of President Ivan Duque, which is roughly a couple of blocks of here. There's a huge police presence in front of his condominium. And as you can see here, the police...
Again, the police doesn't protect people, the police protect capital. The police protects the bourgeoisie. They don't fucking care about the proletariat. They don't fucking care about working class people. They just care about protecting property. Police are class traitors. People say they don't want violence to get to socialism, but how do you combat all the violence that capitalism and its system is currently imposing onto the proletariat? It's going... No government will ever give up police. No government will ever give up the police. They are necessary in order for people to stay in power. If I wasn't a leftist socialist, the people wanted to move left. It's not surprising to me at all what we are depriving people of basic survival. Yeah, rats, like... I hate when you see people houseless, you see people dying of starvation, you see people dying for the lack of resources, and when you raise, maybe we should house the homeless, people are like, oh, but how are we going to pay for that? I don't give a single fuck how you pay for that. Just fucking house them. Just fucking give them food. Don't let them fucking die. I don't give a fuck about the money that the government will have to spend on giving people their basic necessities, you know? And using money as an excuse to let people die, it's fucking disgusting. I have to go. Glad I caught you. I know a little more about what's going on there now. Hope you got you in the corner in the interwebs here and there. Yeah, thank you so much for coming, alright. Steps, but we need one of the 1 minute tank for the military star industrial complex. You know what, Big Almond? That $1 million tank doesn't even go to a military. They literally buy it for the police. Again, why do the police need tanks? Like, why? Why? Can someone like explain to me why? Okay, this is German police, whatever. But yeah, like, why? Why? Exactly. No fucking reason.
An anti-riot gear roughly a couple of blocks of here. There's a huge police presence in front of his condominium. And as you can see here, the police and anti-riot gear is stopping the protesters from moving forward.
As protesters tried to move on, the police shot tear gas and stun grenades. Protesters responded, hurling rocks and burning barricades. The chaos has forced President Ivan Duque to backpedal on the tax reform plans, promising to rewrite the bill excluding taxes on basic food items, utilities and gasoline that angered protesters. But some analysts believe it will not be enough.
And I think that the government hasn't understood that. The political class is not discussing that. They think that just withdrawing the tax reform is going to be enough to appease the protest. But I think that we're past that point, and basically the sort of conversation that we need from this moment on has to deal with many more issues than the tax reform.
Once again, clashes continued into the evening, signaling that protesters will not easily stop. Alessandro Ampietti, Al Jazeera, Bogotá. Another
yeah, right now we're watching again. I literally have just found 2 or 3 English news about what is going on. It's so fucked up. They knew damn well austerity measures would make people protest, hence the tanks. Oh, yeah, Thea Kimmel, yeah.
Terrifying night in Colombia's third largest city, Cali. Video shot by residents.
This is what happened yesterday, or what it's been happening in the last 24 hours.
2 working-class neighborhoods apparently... Another terrifying night in Colombia's third largest city, Cali. Video shot by residents of 2 working-class neighborhoods apparently show the police shooting indiscriminately against protesters. The morning after, the scenes of destruction were
We are going through lovely stuff that is going on in Colombia. We love fascism.
Unmistakable. The mayor said at least 5 people were killed and 33 injured.
We condemn in an absolute way any expression of violence, any expression that puts the life, integrity and property of the men and women of this territory at risk.
The western city of Cali has become the epicenter of the ongoing protests against the social and economic policy.
Oh yeah, for sure, Sia. Like, I didn't expect no one to be covering this. Uh, but like yesterday, Haley made an announcement in my Discord and made it in a couple of Discords, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I knew there was like shit going on in Colombia, but I didn't know it got this bad. And uh, yeah, I really wanted to cover it. There is something that it's scaring me, and I don't want the U.S. or the UN to intervene. Well, if the UN intervenes, I hope they do it like uh how do I say, like, just by talking and stuff. But if military intervention happens, it's scary that it will happen in Colombia, because I'm so close to Colombia, and also right now in my elections we have a far right candidate that is very similar to that, of course has fascist tendencies, and this might happen to Peru if she wins. And the other candidate, even though he's a Marxist Leninist Mariateguist or a left or a socialist, in other words, uh, socialism or far left movements in Peru have a very tricky and complicated history, and it's not as easily trusted. I'm just going to say that. There's a lot of corruption all across Peruvian politics, in the right as much as in the left. Thank you, Big Almond. I don't have water right now, uh, but yeah, like, uh, political tension has never not happened in Peru. Oh my god. Okay, Big Almond. Ah! Sorry, there was a cake. But yeah, actually, actual scary stuff, you know? Yeah, without fear of the rebellion. Hey, listen, US internet leftists are working their asses off covering what AOC said on Twitter. Oh my god. I ironically wanted to. I ironically wanted to cover that, but before what I knew. But oh my god. Okay. Uh, like, political insecurity and political turmoil has been an ongoing thing in South America, in Latin America in general, for so long. And now becoming a leftist and learning how much US intervention causes that, uh, makes it much more real, you know? And like, when I was like apolitical, um, I thought, oh yeah, that's just how it works. Like, all politicians are fucking useless, you know? They're all fucking corrupt. And now learning more and more about how politics works, how international politics works, and how the US always intervenes in stuff, it gives me a different perspective. But it's also scary, you know? So yeah. Hi Kay, welcome. So yeah. Right now I'm covering all about what's going on in Bolivia. In Colombia. But yeah.
Policies of President Ivan Duque. On Tuesday, the United Nations and the European Union condemned the excessive use of force on part of Colombia's security forces to try and contain the unrest.
We are deeply alarmed at developments in the city of Cali in Colombia, where police opened fire overnight on demonstrations protesting against tax reforms, reportedly killing and injuring a number of people. We express our profound shock at the events there and stress our solidarity with those who have lost their lives, as well as the injured and their families.
The White House also issued a statement urging the utmost restraint by public forces and asking the government to investigate any human rights violation. But Colombia's defense minister responded saying Colombia's forces respect human rights and blamed criminal gangs for the violence.
Of course,
our national police, our army, and our navy.
By the way, there have been already at least 19 confirmed cases of people dying at the hands of the police. Not to even mention that more than 200 cases of unjustified arrests. I mean, I showed a whole... I don't know if my Twitter is still up. This is not the updated one. Oh yeah, fuck the police. 100%. No, I lost it! No! Wow. Oh my fucking god. And also, I've mentioned it, it's scary for me, for people to be tagging the UN because I don't want military intervention so close. I mean, I wish there no military intervention ever. Like, fuck the military also, but you know. Okay, 216 physical violence by the police, 31 homicides at the hands of the police, 800, okay, I was way far off, 800 arbitrary arrests, 200 violent interventions by the police, 21 injuries to the eyes, 77 firearm shootings by the police, and 10 sexual assault victims. Oh yeah, but like the police is not not doing anything. 1,400 cases of police brutality. Oh yeah, but the gangs are doing stuff. Like a different branch of the police. No, no, it's still. I mean, yeah, it's still all the police. Yeah, I do find it public force. I feel like it's yeah, it's like a different branch of the police, if you will, but they're still police officers. So, yeah.
Act in strict compliance with the law. These vandals that we have already denounced act systematically, deliberately, and are financed by criminal organizations, and they have the objective of destabilizing certain regions. Every day they change their objectives. Yesterday, the objective was the police. Orders to shoot our police officers.
Despite the violence, the demonstrations will continue. What started as a protest against tax hikes has billowed to a nationwide cry against inequalities and now police brutalities. Major unions have called for another nationwide day of demonstrations on Wednesday, while cities like Cali are bracing for what could be another night of terror. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Bogotá.
Again, I have said it before, I'm saying it again. People have to understand that the tax reform is just the straw that broke the camel's back. It's the thing that made everyone just lost it. Just lose it. In Chile, there were a lot of measurements that the government was taking that made it very difficult for people to live. But when they raised the prices of the public transportation, and people were literally unable to move from a place to another to go to work, people lost it, and there were huge, massive protests. People literally stopped going to work because they literally couldn't afford the price. And because of those protests, a new constitution is being done. Things don't happen in a vacuum. This tax reform was just the one thing that made everyone like say this is fucking enough. And now that they are rising up, they want complete change. And of course they're not going to fucking get it because they have a fucking fascist as a president, and this is literally not like me being a radical lefty and you're calling everyone fascist. No, he's literally a far right. Like he's literally far right. Like, come on. That's what happened in France. Basfer was proverbial last straw. Yeah, was a yep. Okay, this video doesn't have subtitles, but I'll do my best to translate as much as possible. Oh, Veronica Mendoza, which is... Oh, thank you, JT, for 10 biddies. Welcome. How are you doing, lovely? Oh my god. Can you, like, be my boyfriend, please? Thank you. And Disturbia is a riot, right? Yeah, they are anti-riot police. Mendoza is a leftist. She was a leftist candidate on the presidential elections, and well, she came in like 4th or 5th because there was a heavy anti-Veronica propaganda movement going on, and it was sad to see because in the last elections she got third, and of course the bourgeois was scared that she would actually rise. So these elections they went hard on the propaganda against her. But yeah, so she's saying the repression in Colombia is the result of the strict hand that the Fujimorismo uh, defense in Peru. Fujimorismo is the movement of uh, a president we had in the 90s, Alberto Fujimori, and Keiko Fujimori is his daughter, and she's one of the people going for president. So yeah. Can I translate this? I don't know. All our solidarity with the Colombian proletariat that is suffering the brutal repression that has taken 26 lives, uh, tens of injured and disappeared. Pasado el político hermano uribismo y refugiados que todo defienden para que ahora quienes quieran cambio. So what she's saying basically is that the far right, like this is the, I mean, I completely agree. This is the result of a strict government, of a strict right-wing government that fights against those who call for change and want to fight for change because that's what they need. And she's saying we have to stop this kind of violence against the people. We have to start peace and actual democracy across Latin America. Uh, she has historically reprimanded and rejected the use of force and violence at the hands of the police, and that protesting is a constitutional right, and going against that is against the fundamental rights, and that has been increased, and going against that has been increasing the conflict and violence, and that the international community should have a more active role to be able to defend the people's rights, and especially in Colombia. And she's talking about Peru and Latin America to be able to promote democracy within our neighboring countries, you know? But yeah. I feel like that's all I can cover right now. Thank you. I'm very exhausted right now. I haven't been able to rate Mark, so let's rate Mark. Right now, I'm very fucking tired. Uh, Thank you everyone so much for coming. Do you have posada about running in your chat? Yes, I do have posada about don't worry about that during Sapiens. If you are subscribed, you can spam Mark's chat with the first message. If you are not subscribed, you can join the fund with the second message. Hi, thank you, listeners. Thank you so much for coming. Again, thank you everyone so much for coming. Join the raid. It's there. Be sure to click the profile picture twice to make your view count in Mark Monkey's chat. Drop him a follow if you haven't. Be sure to subscribe if you are able to. Again, thank you so much for coming, everyone. I won't be streaming as much this week, but I will try to keep up to date with the Colombian news. And next time I stream, I will try to give you all an update. So, yeah. Bye, everyone. I love you all. Woo.